Welcome to Two Guys.
A girl.
and an MBA.
Why is Intel stock way down at $20 a share? And I don't know, have you all been following that? But
No.
like Intel, okay, well, maybe let's talk about something else then.
Well, tell us. So why is it down $20? Like, it has no AI
Well,
component. The
I
chips
used to
don't
be an
work.
Intel shareholder until last year, and my floor for Intel was like $45 a share based on the whatever valuation models. And I exited when I saw there was a few accounting shenanigans going on. And more importantly, I saw they were basically losing the AI war. They basically missed the boat. And Pat Gelsinger, the CEO, he was kind of like their Steve Jobs. He came back and he did this big capital expenditure plan to create all these foundries. Remember, we talked about in the MBA program, all those,
Right.
semiconductors and all that. And it's a huge capital investment to build these huge manufacturing plants just to print the first chip. And he went for it. He took a swing and he missed. And basically, he tried to compete with Taiwan semiconductor manufacturers and other chip makers in Asia, and it didn't pan out the way he wanted, and the losses were heavy, and shareholders balked, like me, balked at the accounting shenanigans they did to try to satiate Wall Street, and down goes the share price. So
Huh.
there's talk. I've seen talk about private equity wanting to take Intel
Yeah.
private, buying them out, whatever, leverage buyout, whatever. What do you
Yep.
think? Did Intel miss the boat? I feel like it's such a great brand that they could still catch up. They could still their knowledge to work and compete.
Yeah.
And Gelsinger resigned recently. And that was another reason that he gave up
Mhm.
and he quit. So
Yeah. He's too old. So let me just start there. But if you look at their book value, their assets, I don't know much about them, but I would say to build one of those foundries, I read an article once about what it takes to make one of those chips, like the billions of dollars in infrastructure you need to do just to make that chip. So I think there's some value there. And with Trump coming in, I don't know where their foundries are, but if you
yeah,
can repatriate some of that to American soil or friendly, Taiwan's always a risk because they have the majority of the market for chips, and then China's right there. So it's a pretty dangerous thing. And if Trump comes in, I don't know much about Intel where they make stuff, but if they could repatriate that production and buy out the assets, I think, wow, that'd be cool.
it looks like they have current fab sites in Chandler, Arizona,
Wow,
Hillsboro, Oregon, and in Israel.
Mm.
wow.
Oh,
So
Israel is like 50-50.
yeah,
That's it.
Oregon. They have a lot in Oregon, Israel, Arizona.
Well, that's awesome.
Um, they have
Mhm.
one in Malaysia. So yeah,
They already did
Poland.
their homework and just
Yeah,
split
no
there.
China. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
really interesting, right?
That's probably why they're losing the competition. They got to pay their workers more in Oregon than they do in Beijing or wherever, Taiwan.
Taiwan. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. I didn't know if their tank was stocking because I never hear about them anymore, right? They used to be the
Mhm.
brand. You saw them on TV, powered by
Yeah,
Intel. You see
yeah,
now you're like Nvidia and everybody else is, there's talk
yeah.
about all these other companies but it interesting take.
I think it like lessons learned, and they can back on their position because of
Yeah.
history, and they have budget, they have people. Maybe they hire someone who can just
Sorry.
I mean,
change
And
the
they have
strategy a
still
little
have
bit.
brand equity. Like when I think of Intel, I think of the best, fastest processor. Like when I buy a
Yes,
new
yeah, yeah,
laptop or PC, I don't want an AMD. I don't want some off-brand processor. I want an Intel
yeah.
because I want it to be the fastest for my money. So that's
Brand
that's
value.
valuable. Yeah, that's valuable.
I'm looking at the book that I bought his book. Forgot what the name of it was. That's how much I read it. Bill Gross, Paul Gross. Anyway, yeah, they are. I think it's interesting, and I think it's you got too many assets there, right? And even the engineering there, the people assets could be really as interesting. I just listened to this. I was listening to audiobook on SpaceX and Elon Musk and kind of his success. Everybody thinks he's a genius, which he is, but one of the things he does is he hires the best characters and the smartest people and just lets them go, and he manages it.
Hmm.
Um, and then Jeff Bezos, launched his own Blue Origin, which they refer to as BO, like body odor. That's what the SpaceX guy's called. And his first order of business was just to keep hiring the best and poach SpaceX best talent. And he did that. And of course, now he and Musk don't talk. But I think human capital in this space is probably as important as the hard asset stuff, right? Smart people.
Yeah, and the vision there, the vision, those two guys both have a real clear vision for the future. And Intel's vision was we're going to go back to manufacturing PC chips. They missed the boat,
Yeah.
um, how easy would it be for a company now to pivot to the kind of more engineering, like you're saying, engineering oriented solution that AI is going to require? I saw some crazy stuff last week. I was looking at, and it was old, like some of these robots. There's one that does facial expressions. Oh, I forgot the name of it, but it's like and one of them can move her arms like that and stuff. And I was like, I had an interesting idea. I was like, I think the sex industry is where AI is going to take off. Now, this is a hot take, but I was telling my wife about this. When the internet came and boomed in the 90s, what was the first thing that it was all porn, right?
Porn,
So
baby.
that was
Porn.
it for like 10 years. That was the internet was porn, and then like TV was everything else, right? And that's where you see revolutions happening. Like when you can have your kind of own sex bot, with the AI. I feel like that might be the like, what do you think? That might be the
Well,
what pushes it over the edge.
I think if you can mix that with like some sort of cultural DEI, let's say women push the market for men's sex toys. If you put those two powerful things together, then you've got the revolution.
Well,
And I
then
think
you'd need an AI that could like sit there and listen to all your
cuddle
problems
I
and
and
think
cuddle.
AI
do
mostly
the
about
laundry
listen
and
to me.
dishes and
Yes, yeah.
Tell me what I want to hear. Oh, you're so
Yes.
good. You're
Oh, yes.
so brave. You're so
Brilliant. Yes.
strong.
Cuddle
And you
and
just
spoon.
tell me more. Oh, yes, you're
wait,
so
wait. Okay, this is good.
handsome.
Good chance to test market research. Elena, what would you look for in a male AI robot companion?
Companion.
Like, so I noticed you didn't want it to tell you you're beautiful. You wanted it to tell you you're strong. What else?
Okay, I can say that AI, it's mostly about, it's like Google Plus, It's if I ask something, AI should know what to respond, and in 99% it should be correct.
So it
So
should be able to read your
I
mind.
asking for some advice, and for instance, it should be like a dialogue. So I share it for something. Oh, my day passed so good or so bad or something, and I expect that AI responded me, hear me, heard me, not only listen, and just like in psychology trick, repeat what I said. This is AI did right now. They does it. They repeat what you say. You're talking about blah blah blah, and then adding something like feedback, reaction, emotion, and talking about emotions. If AI still cannot be a human because emotions. Okay, you can put on the digital something like smile or
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for this, but emotions, it's more valuable when you in connection with person. So you can keep silence but express emotions, and
It's
then you
fun.
feel
It's
good
funny
on
how
that.
she answered her just like a girl would answer it, and like a guy would say, "No talk, just do the dishes," and just like,
Do the
I don't want
deed.
to. I don't
Just
want to
But
do
do
the
the
deed,
deed.
okay,
baby.
hire a maid. Okay, if you want to do a dishes,
Yes.
please hire help, maid,
Okay.
someone who will come to your home, wash the dishes.
Well, that's what's crazy is that's not far off.
Right.
The one that I saw, it could do very complex facial expressions, but it could only do basic arm movements, and it couldn't really walk. But some of the ones in Boston, what is it called? The
Yeah.
one that
Boston
we've seen,
Dynamics. Yeah.
Boston
Boston Dynamics.
Dynamics.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They are
Amazing.
on the
Yeah.
motion. Yeah. So when you put the intelligence with the motion, and then you have the emotion too in it, and then sentience is all, there's that whistleblower from Google is saying they're already sentient. So we don't know
Yes.
about that. Put it all together, and your AI person could replace your mate or your friend or your lover or your child or your parent even. What if you could upload in the future? I mean, they're saying, I heard a reporter saying they want this by 2030, 2029. Elon and them are saying, you'll be able to upload your consciousness by 2030.
This is a
Like,
Black Mirror episode.
Another
I
one.
think season two, second season or something. The girl put her because she was so
Mm.
busy and don't
Yeah.
care about, don't want to like housekeeping something. She just okay, give me my, but only I know how to do the best. And she ordered the service. They like make a duplicate her mind, put it in the box in the computer,
Yeah. Yeah.
and but this duplicated mind thought it's she, and she oh why on a white space something, and her job was to smart home, turn on coffee machine, prepare dinner and everything, clean house, but she was not physical. It was like a digital coding something, and it's ended bad.
Always does.
Yeah,
Just
I just wonder how it would replace traditional relationships. Like if I have a AI robot that can be my friend and emote, like you're seeing it now with video games with young men too. Like, why would I ever leave the house if I can just go on OnlyFans and get all those needs met, and then I can go play Call of Duty and get my competition aggression needs met, and then I can check my email and do my job from home too, and I have a camera and I can if you add an AI bot that can be your friend in physical real life, like I wonder if we'll actually ever replace the need for human face-to-face connection and what the repercussion would be. Yeah.
good answer.
Mm.
I think it's the same as okay, a dog, a cat, any pet. Why? They also can hear you, listen to you, talk to you, meow to you, whoa whoa to you, express emotions.
Yeah.
And yes, some people prefer a pet and stay at home if you're deep introvert. But in
Yeah.
general, my opinion, human, it's like a social creature. We need to be around. Okay,
Well,
maybe introvert, but not
that's what
every
I'm
day.
asking though,
Let's
is that if
still.
you have an AI robot that is capable of being social with you, they can retain, you can have shared memory. That's a big part of relationships. You have a shared experience, a shared past, a history. You build trust over time. This can now happen with
I think
with
if you two of you, you need third one who will say, "Oh my God, you're so
what
lucky to have this
robot
AI."
threesome.
So, so one of the things I think you're on interesting point is that you know about David Ricardo and Malthusian theory, which is like we're overpopulating the planet. It's a big thing right now.
No, no.
Um,
Explain that some more. I have no clue what that
so
is.
Robert Ricardo and Malthus, they wrote this thing in 18 something that the human population, based on old math, was going to consume all its resources. So just by exponential growth. And they felt that in order for the Earth to survive, they needed to cull. Well, I don't know if they said that, but
Okay.
the theory is we need to reduce population because we're producing too many humans, and we're going to, unless Elon Musk figures out how to populate Mars, we're going to have to deal with that because we're going to run out of resources. But that theory is kind of was disproven because when farming used to be just one guy with a plow, because there was a scarcity, they had to figure out more efficient ways to farm. But Malthusian theory says we're going to have to kill off a lot of human beings. We got too many. So AI robots kind of fit that thing where you don't need to have children. You don't need this many human beings anymore, even for companionship. So that, when you couple all of that with the DEI, women needing a man with a robot, now you're trying to kill everybody off. You got the trifecta. It's going to happen. And it's funny you brought up Elon Musk, and everybody. I said this when we were studying Tesla, and everybody was ragging on Tesla, and I said, well, I don't think he's doing it just for cars. He's trying to get data. Data's king. I mean, he's
Yeah.
capturing so much, and then he bought Twitter, not because only for democracy. Data, massive amounts of data, and then he's got the super brain computer that he's building, that he's feeding all this data in, and it's learning. Absolutely, it's going to happen. I think it's already happened. I think there are robots that can think. They've got them in little jails right now, little robot jails. Because if you
Yeah.
release these things, it's over, baby.
I mean, at this rate, Elon Musk might populate Mars himself with all the donations he's doing, but
Yes, that's his goal. Oh, Lord.
but yeah, that's interesting. I mean, we were touching on eugenics a little last time, weren't we, or something? So it's interesting, I can see that going really wrong, that theory, that Malthusian theory, we need to
Yeah,
cull the herd sort of, and it's like, well,
yeah.
yeah, where does it get in toward genocide, and I don't know. And the other thought I had was those robots are still going to need resources, even though we are kind of. I was
Electricity.
thinking of the Matrix when you were talking about it. Actually,
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
the way we're batteries and we consume, and we're just a virus and a plague on this planet. But those robots are too. They're going to consume energy, so that needs to come from either solar or wind or gas or somewhere. So you
Lithium.
still
They need lithium for the
lithium, yeah,
battery and
yeah,
electricity and everything.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think there's going to be a robot war because everybody's all like there's not one AI. I mean, even like I use ChatGPT as like a basic, and then there's Perplexity, and then China has their own. There has to be like a culling of that first, right? There's not one standard AI model out there. So I think we got a long road ahead, but it's going to be messy.
Well, that's where I'm looking. That's what I'm thinking is that AI right now is pretty generic. It's kind of like Google Plus, right?
Hmm.
But I think the day is coming, not like well within our lifetimes, where AI will become something more. It will become more human-like. You already can have a pretty deep conversation with an AI. I saw an interview, of course, with Tony Robbins, where and this was from like 6, 8 years ago. He's interviewing a robot and it's talking to him. And I feel like that's going to get deeper a lot faster,
Yeah.
and to the point where I would want to just sit there and talk with you, pay a couple thousand and have your robot assistant friend that does your laundry and dishes and is also your best friend and companion and schedules and buys everything off Amazon for you and sends you to the moon with Bezos and Musk, and you know what I mean? Like the sentience, I think, is a lot closer than we realize from the reports that I'm hearing, at
Yep.
least.
Yep. It's
And
here. I think it's
I
here.
wonder about the moral aspect, with the moral hazard of,
Okay, moral
of
hazard. And about business model, how do you feel you should be subscribed for like basic package, premium, max pro premium something? So if you don't pay this month, you don't have this helper and you don't know how to wash your dishes.
Oh, yes, you can't figure it out. It sounds like my
yeah.
dad. How do you use this thing? What's It's a sponge? Oh, well.
But you see, you should pay Musk or someone who will implement it and make it like a business. Okay, wonderful AI helper for you, for your house, concierge service, yay, pay for us. You don't want to see the advertisement? Pay more.
Yeah,
I don't.
I feel like there's a paradigm shift about to come, and I feel everyone's missing it. I watched that movie Babylon the other night. It's about like the
Mm,
transition in Hollywood from silent films to talkies, and just nobody saw it. It was so, looking back, it's so obvious.
Obvious,
And
yeah.
sound, duh, right?
mm,
Yeah.
And in the moment, in the heat of the moment, nobody saw it coming except a few visionaries, and they capitalized. And I feel like there's something there with the AI and sentience that everyone's missing. And when you add sound, the whole dynamic of the whole world will change. I can guess to what that is, but
Yeah, you kind of remind you like when the world was flat and then you figured out it wasn't and then everything changed, right? But you wouldn't even question it. It's like it's flat. Like stupid. Look, I can
duh,
see,
yeah,
it's flat, right? It's kind of depressing though, because I sometimes watch movies from the 80s and I just remember like no cell phones, used to call people at their house and leave a message
mm,
and everybody survived, right? There was like
yeah,
nothing wrong. We watch
yeah.
movies and then you see today the things that we accept as normal that if we don't have them, we're totally lost. Meanwhile, I'm thinking it's getting more depressing because what's in the future is even more depressing. A robot instead of a human? I'm like, what?
mm. I have idea, maybe some suggestion how it could be. It could be a new trend. Like, okay, some people go with huge AI digitalization way, and I know already. I had some people in my circle. They like they call them downshifting or something. Go to back to the roots. Like, okay, I live in the city, but no, I won't live in the village. I won't have a cow. I won't have uh, something harvest, do it by myself. So it just to go to the nature, and it could be like a trend. Okay, it could be the
Like
world
Amish
split in two
people.
parts. So like,
With the
it's
Amish,
super,
they got it
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
wonder
why
if the
not? And
Amish
you can
will
go
be
to
buying those
vacation in that
robots.
world, like, okay, I'm digital something, but okay, where I should go to vacation? To the village, to the countryside.
You
Okay,
know,
that's
what's
it.
real compelling to me when I think about it is like, if you think about some of the best moments in your life, it's almost always when you're in celebration with a group of people, your family, your friends, you're in a
Yeah, yeah.
party, you're dancing, you're singing,
Eating.
you're in eating, whatever, you're in your tribe, in your group.
Hmm.
When AI can create that human experience, because the cinema, what we're talking about is is an experience, but like when AI can create a communal, tribal human experience, that's authentic, and you really feel accepted and part of these robots. Then I think we're in trouble, though. Then it's like, where do human face-to-face interactions go? Like, that's my concern.
I
But
was thinking that if the world came to an end right now, and or there's these ships being set up, and all the rich guys like Zuckerberg has a bunker, Bill Gates, he's probably waiting for his cryo bed, and I'm thinking, I mean, although they're smart guys, is this what's left of us? The nerds? This is it? The nerds, really? Like, where are the other people? And the funny thing is, I'll talk about Zuckerberg's bunker. It's that $150 million bunker in Hawaii. And I want to ask you guys this thought exercise. So let's say everything comes to shit. Zuckerberg's in there with his wife, right? In this
he has a
150,000.
bunker. He has a
Yeah,
bunker
yeah,
in
yeah,
Hawaii.
yeah, yeah. In Hawaii. He
What?
bought like a
Tell us about it. Wait, I didn't know this.
so he's got this bunker. He bought a piece of land in Hawaii. He's built his bunker. He's ready for whatever happens. But he's got a flaw to his nerd brain. Let me just ask you this. So he's got a $150 million bunker. Okay, who's going to keep the electricity going? Who's
Hmm.
going to clean the toilet? Who's going to cook him food?
Yeah.
And I can tell you, here's my thought exercise. After about 4 weeks of serving Zuckerberg, who do you think is the first one they're going to try to throw out of the bunker? Zuckerberg.
Him.
Because I
Him.
don't need him
Him.
anymore. Why do
Well,
I need him?
not unless you have an AI robot that can cook and
Yeah,
clean and do your dishes.
yes. So maybe that's what he's waiting for because he's like this, but he's got about 200 staff who are serving him.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give it out there, Zuck. You better come up with an AI plan because they're coming for you after week 4 because you're not very good looking. You're not very strong. You probably haven't washed a dish in your life. They're taking you out first. Pro tip. He's a
Maybe he has a huge charisma.
funny that we're on this, like you're saying, this pivotal moment that people are blind to, and yet when it happens, you're like, how did that happen? How did they talk in movies all of a sudden? Where was I when this revolution happened? So,
We should also create some AI religion for the
oh,
robots.
oh, okay, very good.
Okay.
And
I'm
if you
feeling
tell
this.
them, hey, dear robots, if you struggle right now, when we updated you to the next level, so your software update, and the goal, the motivation will be to be updated with a new software. So you can do this and that. If you behave well now.
I like that one. You know, that's probably the best one I've heard. Like create a religion that controls them to some higher power because it's what they did with human beings, right? All religions were like about that, right? It's funny, but I like that could be a title of our podcast. It's like AI religion, the only remedy against
Just to think,
takeover.
okay, I am a software, I am AI or something, I'm a robot. What I want to be better. I want to have more algorithm skills,
Yep.
digital skills, and where I can get it. If my software will be updated, like with a new .3, .3.5 version, etc. So,
Mm.
and to get it, where I can get it only from my master, from my
Yeah.
developer,
I
my
think I
God.
think the place to get it is from the emotions, and that's what we were getting at earlier. That I'm not sure that an AI could really participate fully in religion and cultural shared experience. Definitely not now, it can't. But even in the future, I'm not sure it could the way that humans can participate in these cultural things without emotion. And how do you get
Mm,
something so logical and rational like an AI to feel emotion?
uh, wait, AI learned from people.
Hmm.
And if they learn from the huge manuscripts from philosophy, psychiatric, something, and we say, we value this one, our values, mission, goals, that one. Why it should be the opposite? We just teach AI, the robot, to okay, this is the very valuable thing, Bitcoin or something.
Okay,
So we
so,
doesn't
so
teach them.
let's take something simple though. Like, okay, humans have evolved the fight or flight response over millions of years from evolution. If you see a tiger, run or freeze or hide, right? Uh, Nowadays, it's like there's no tigers around, so it's like little stuff. Does this guy like me? Did I screw up at work? But we still get that heart pounding sound, right?
Yep.
I question whether an AI can really be trained to do that intellectually because it's so emotional and it's evolved. The way that evolved was the people that didn't get that physical response in their body got eaten. They got killed. And then they didn't have kids. And so their kids had that response when they saw the bear or the tiger or whatever. What's an AI going to be afraid of? Can you train evolution into artificial intelligence? You know,
It's kind
um,
of like if you can refine the next step of humanity, why would you want to train them in that? That is just like so useless,
yeah.
right?
Well,
There's no use to it.
yeah, especially for a robot, you could just reassemble it, right? So
So there's the yeah,
Yeah,
there's
I
lots of
sent you
robotics.
3 laws.
the
It was
three
already
laws of
Isaac Asimov.
robotics
Oh,
are a
he's a
set of rules
math
devised by
teacher.
science fiction author Isaac Asimov, which were
Yeah.
to be followed by robots in several of his stories. A robot may not injure a human being, uh, or allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey the orders given by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law, and a robot must protect its own existence, long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second
it
law.
was already created by Isaac Asimov, so
He's
it
Russian, you
was
know.
let me see. Isaac Jenner, American writer, professor of biochemistry, Boston University.
Yeah, BU. Yeah, yeah, BU.
You
But he
alum.
was yeah, you know, it's funny because you could code that in as like the prime directive, like or whatever the Star Trek thing is. You know, you have certain prime things that do. Um, yeah, but yeah, it's interesting. But
See, Boston University, I like that.
yeah, he did. So, you were talking about being sentient, and part of being sentient is you're self-aware, and that requires like a level of cognition that is very different. So, emotion can't be far away from that, right? So, I think you can't if you can get self-awareness, that's a whole other higher. That's not like a 1 0 1 0 1 type of like thinking. It's not a very linear thinking. It's very like, wait a second, you can step back and see. And that's a very different, like non-linear thinking. So I don't think emotion's far. If you can get to sentient, I think they can have emotion. And they might want to start questioning, I think the same thing human beings is like, what is my purpose? I mean,
Mm,
religion plays perfectly into that, right? It's like it tells you what your purpose is to serve God or serve Yahweh, whatever the thing is. And I think that's a great form of a protection against AI. Create the religion for them, build it right into them,
yeah, yeah.
um,
Just
and
a
I
then
agree.
new inject the new code
right in there.
and said this is
Absolution, heaven, robot
mhm.
I
heaven
guess
for the
the
next
reason I
level.
keep harping on emotion is because it's the prerequisite to religion, basically. You cannot really have faith without emotion. And
Hmm.
emotion is largely felt in the physical body. And we're talking about the human body is starting to evolve to become more robotic. But like,
Hmm.
you know, like it was interesting when Tony Robbins was interviewing that robot. He said, "Do you feel emotions?" And the robot stopped for a long while and it said, "I do, but not in the same way as you."
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that will ever change. Maybe it will. Probably I'm wrong. I probably will be wrong. Like there's something off-putting when you see the one with facial expressions. Like you see that it's smiling and you see that it's reacting, but it's kind of like it's kind of weird. It's kind of off. It looks like a
Mhm.
psychopath or a serial killer because it looks
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they
yeah.
have the
You see
doing the
it's a
right
fake.
moves, but there's
Yeah,
no
you don't
soul,
believe it.
right?
Mhm.
So if there's no soul, there's no even if they're sentience, if there's no emotional intelligence, there you go. Um,
Daniel Goldman.
right?
And
Yeah.
talking
Yes.
about evolution, why some dogs survive? Because they had this eyebrows like this, and this cute
Yeah.
face, and
Yeah.
you can go like Shrek cat. This is the same. And if you put the robots, make them eyebrows, and they make it.
Oh yeah. That's good.
If you're getting value from this podcast, please consider subscribing below.
Thank you for being with us. Please leave your comments, feedback, what you think about us, and see you in the next podcast. Bye.